Hey guys, as promised, I told you that I may be coming to a living room near you. So, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're going to breast cancer survivor Geri Miller Harper's house, and we're going to hang out in her living room. Let's go. Let's do this. Hi! Goodness, you're really here. I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lauren Lake, and welcome to my YouTube series, The Living Room. So this particular episode is all about breast cancer awareness. If you subscribe to the newsletter, you know that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm encouraging everyone to get their mammograms and to do what's necessary to be aware and to prevent this disease. My mother passed away in 2006 from breast cancer, and to be very honest with you, it's always a rough month for me. I've been getting mammograms since I was 30 years old, and I do my best to care for my body in a way that will prevent the disease. However, what we do know is that more information is always empowering, and we need to do what we need to do to understand how we can, in our own lives, help in the fight against this disease. So, one of the other amazing features on the newsletter was Ms. Geri Harper. This is the mother of my assistant Brooke, and she is a breast cancer survivor. And I'm so happy to have her here today in her living room. We're actually in her living room because I think it's important that we hear the upside of the story. Let's be honest. I unfortunately deal with the pain of things not going the way I planned and the way I prayed. But there is hope and there is progress, and there are people who are not only surviving this disease but are thriving in spite of it, and Miss Geri is the epitome of that. So welcome to the living room. Welcome to your own living room. But welcome to my YouTube series, The Living Room too. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And so your story on the newsletter, first of all, if you haven't gotten it, you need to make sure you go to laurenlake.com and subscribe so you can read the story because it peels away like a movie. So Geri, can you take me back to the moment you got the call that you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
I remember just like it was yesterday, 8 years ago, I had gotten laid off. Jess had called off an engagement. Brooke was 16. And I was just riding down the street, got the phone call, and Dr. Yaffe said the results were positive. I didn't say goodbye. I just hung up and just ran straight through the red light.
Oh my God.
Traumatized. Absolutely traumatized. My friends were waiting at my house. I just sat in the restaurant, and for the first time probably ever in my life, I didn't have an appetite. Didn't have an appetite at all. Was traumatized. Traumatized.
And how do you go from that trauma to the decision and the will to say, I'm going to survive this? Because I know from reading your story and even talking with Brooke that you made a decision that I am going to survive this thing. Can you take me to that kind of transition? Because I think so many women out here who have been diagnosed, who fear diagnosis, a person like me that every time I go, I almost say, is this the day I'm getting a call? It's a disease that runs in my family. How did you do that?
It wasn't easy. It literally wasn't easy. I prayed. I was praying day after day after day. Like, God, you don't think I've been through enough? You really don't think I've been through enough? And I didn't hear any answer. So after about 3 or 4 weeks, it was like I heard God say this was an assignment. This was an assignment from Him. I didn't know necessarily what that meant, but I did know that if His name was attached to it, that I was going to win.
Amen. There can be nothing more limiting than hearing getting a call that you may have a disease that could take your life. How did you switch from that feeling of being limited to feeling limitless in this approach to this? How did you do that?
Giving up wasn't an option.
Right?
I had a 16-year-old, and I told God, listen, I got to see her graduate from high school. I got to see her graduate from college. I got to go to Italy to get a pair of shoes.
I know that's right.
And I just wasn't going to give up. I knew at that point I had an option, one option, and that was to finish strong. That was to win. And I was determined to do it. My daughter was she was that one thing that every morning. It's like, I gotta go. I gotta fight. I gotta win. So I went from being like, oh my God, people are gonna talk about me. I thought I was the healthiest. So I'm like, they're gonna say, okay, you eat seaweed salad every day, I may as well eat pork skins. So I had to transition my mind to, it doesn't matter what they think. You have a daughter who's depending on you. You have goals. Your life is just now beginning. So I was determined to win. I was determined to win so much that I had a victory party before I even decided what treatment I was going to take.
Are you kidding me? I love this. You had a victory party.
I had a victory party. I invited all of my college friends, all of my church family. It was about 75, 80 of us. We went and rented out the entire restaurant. And so my name was Never Stop Dancing. I said, never stop dancing no matter the storm. I was in there dancing and shouting and happy because I knew I was going to finish strong. I knew it. They thought I was crazy. They literally thought I was crazy.
I want to start with the survival. Can you talk to me about what your regimen would look like? I know you did do chemotherapy. You chose to do that. And what was your treatment like?
My treatment, I had 8 months of chemotherapy. I was taking 3 different types of chemo. 2 different pills and 1 via the vein.
Okay.
Once that was over, I had a lumpectomy and I had 33 treatments of radiation. And while I danced my way through, that was a lot of poison that I was putting in my body. So prior to me even deciding which route I was going to go, I began to Google everything in the earth that healed cancer. Everything. Isaacti, cat's claw, turmeric, you name it. So I began to make every day what I call my warrior smoothie.
Okay.
I had chlorophyll, spirulina, liquid omega-3, turmeric, kale, spinach, raspberry, blueberries, and I would make this every morning and I would drink it twice a day. What they don't tell you is that while the chemo is killing the bad cells, it's also killing the good cells.
Yes.
So nutrition was key. In my mind, I decided everything that I put in my mouth is either going to feed the cancer or it's going to kill it. And that's my whole mindset.
I love that.
It's either going to, we all have cancer cells. So, I try and tell people, we all have them. So what you feed grows.
Now that was a word for me. No, it's interesting because as I talk to my son about general health, we try to eat mostly a vegetarian diet. We try to eat a lot of vegan meals. And I always talk to him about, think about your food. Think about what it is. Are you eating to live, or is this basically death on the fork, right? But it's interesting how you can empower others and you can give the right information to others, and yet when someone speaks it to you, it feels differently. Do you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah, because I feel like I received that, even though it's like I knew it, but it was almost like you shared it with me and I needed to hear it as a woman from another woman. I think that is a very real thing. As mothers, as women, often we are, we have the task of keeping our family healthy. We are our friends' confidants. We do all of the things that we do as women, but it's rare, I think, that we really take time to allow people to pour into us. I thank you for just pouring into me right now, because as a person they consider to be high risk, I know I'm guilty of that chai tea latte with way too much sugar. And I love me some cake and some pancakes and a muffin. I'm not lying. This is my life. I tell it like
we have to own it.
Right, we have to own it. And those things I feel like are probably the things that are feeding those cells that I know that are in me, and yet I'm not cognizant about when I'm eating them, what it's doing to me. And getting that thought process. I think that's so empowering about, people always say be intentional about your eating when they're talking about losing weight. But we never really discuss about being intentional about eating, about living. About living. about just living. We're so busy worrying about being intentional so we can lose 5 pounds. How about we just being intentional so we can live?
Period. And I'm a foodie. So I get the struggle. But now it's like there's so many healthy options. So many healthy options. And this is what I tell people. When you're eating, if you've never been diagnosed with cancer, it is up to you to never, ever be diagnosed.
Love that.
It is. What we feed our body grows. And that's what we have to be intentional when we're eating. We have to be intentional.
Because let me tell you, life it ain't always fair.
Right. But the things that we can control, why not control it?
Why not do it?
And we can control what goes in our body. We are not always in control of the toxins that are outside, but you can limit
The toxins that you allow to go in your mind. I tell people all the time, stress.
Yes.
Stress
will literally, if it don't kill you, it'll
come close.
Ooh.
And we
You
have to be
speaking a
careful.
word.
You have to be careful. You have to decide, no. I'm going to separate my emotions from fact. I'm going to have two piles. I'm going to put in this pile the things that I can deal with and the things that I can control. This other stuff, guess what? Take it from me.
It'll all work out.
I'm only laughing because, I always say God will speak to you. I believe my mother, my late mother, I believe she speaks to me through people, that I believe God speaks to me through people. And it is so amazing that you sat there and just said that, because something that no one knows is my mother's biggest thing for me as growing up was always, if I had a tough decision, she would say, make a list. Make 2 columns.
Wow.
This is why I'm like, I could literally get up and
Chills.
write me too down here, and I could really run around this couch right now.
Wow.
That would be her thing. Go make 2 columns, the pros and the
That's right,
cons.
that's right.
And then review it, and then you can be able to see.
That's
When
right.
you just said to me, make a list about the things you can control, and then the things you can't, and then push those out, because I literally got chills, and I received that because I needed that.
We all
Overall,
need that, right? As powerful, dominant women, we all need that because we want to be in control.
We can't. We can't always be in control.
And once we make up in our mind and we decide and understand,
Okay, I can't be in control. At least not of everything. Let me handle the things that I can control.
this other thing that's really big, let me push it to the side. And again, what you feed grows.
oh my God, I just got an aha moment. Because we use up all our energy trying to control the things we can't even control, then the things that we can control, like eating a healthy meal, getting enough sleep, making sure we go get our walk. We're too tired and burnt out. That's me. Now you at the Starbucks I'll just have a chai tea latte with 800 sugars. No, that is my whole life. I just
Give you that sandwich that's been processed for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
That's it.
Literal aha moment. It is so true.
And once you just release it,
You will feel lighter. Like I tell people, you need to lose weight. And not necessarily from that scale, but that weight.
of trying to handle and control and, make it happen, you can lose you wake up bouncing and happy and, you still weigh the same amount, but you're free.
You better come on and speak a word, Miss Jerry. Jerry preaching today, and I'm receiving all of it, honey. I hope you're getting your blessing, because I'm getting mine. So wait, so during your diagnosis and after that your treatment program, you did the chemo and the radiation, but you also alongside that did an entire holistic rebooting of your life.
Reboot of my life, and not only that, I continue to take my cat's claw and my satiety against my oncologist's
Recommendation.
They
Because
want me
their point was, you don't need to be doing all
you
that.
don't need to be
The
doing all
chemo's
that. They're saying this, you're going to, the holistic will contradict what the chemo is doing. I said, well, it's
Going to have to contradict it.
I didn't have any, when I tell you 0 side effects, my energy level was off the roof. I was still walking up and down Stone Mountain. I was still getting up, driving myself to chemo, going to the radiation, driving myself to radiation. While I would get that little radiation shot, 3 seconds after I get it, I would yawn.
And I used to tell my body, and I used incorrect English. I said, look at here, get it together.
Okay.
You gotta go
Back to work, because if you don't work, you don't eat.
Okay.
And you got bills. And my body would line up. And you know why? Because I was putting the things in my body.
You speak life into
Speak
yourself.
life into myself. Let me tell you, what I tell people, be good, take care of your body, and your body will
will take care of you. I am a believer.
And I truly believe that was part of my assignment. If you've
You've been diagnosed, okay, take your treatment. But, however,
my goal is preventive maintenance.
We are beautiful, strong people, and we are so powerful, yet we don't take control over what we have control of, and that is this temple.
Okay.
That is, you want some control over something? Take control over what you're putting in your body, in your mind. All of these toxic, negative thoughts, that unforgiveness that you've been harboring for years.
Yes.
I tell people, it's probably why you can't go to the bathroom.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
why she got my number?
No.
TMI, but no, really, but it's a function of life that many people struggle with, you know. And I'm kind of, you know, I wear a lot of my heart on my sleeve, but as I go and I sit in circles with many women, like that's the hidden secret, like, girl, you know I gotta take my tea because you know I gotta go back. You know, it's that thing of like, you know, and it's a thing that it's almost like we're ashamed about it. And I don't know why. I guess it's because it's a function that we don't really talk about. But I talk about paternity, so I could talk about anything. Okay. So, but it's a generational thing, and then we become to think that it is common. Like, oh, this just runs in my family. That was one of the other most empowering things too, because like, you know how we cook and our food and our soul food and you know, I mean, it's just so good, but we have to honor what's in it and the fact that our ancestors used those ingredients for a reason.
That's right.
And that we have the opportunity now to not still make delicious food, but to be able to kind of rejudge it so that it's healthier.
Exactly.
And it was interesting because I was saying to a holistic coach, like, but I want my son to taste that, you know, mac and cheese the way my grandmother and my grandmother's mother made it and my mother, and they're like, okay, well, he can taste it, he can know what it tastes like, but you're not cooking that every Sunday. He goes, because you also, she's like, you just told me that the breast cancer is running your family. So you're not just passing the food down, you're passing the disease down,
right.
which is connected to lots of what's going on in the food.
That's right.
And we don't really connect those dots.
That's right.
And so you began to develop like healthier recipes because you say you're a foodie. Me too.
Yes.
And you still love to eat.
I still love to eat, but it's different. People, you know, I'll post on social media and you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? What is seaweed salad? And but it's stuff that it tastes good to me. I love wild caught salmon. I could make that. Brooke was like, you're gonna make some salmon chips? I love fried fish too, but when you know that the fried foods, you know, that increases your cholesterol. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with fried fish. I'm not saying don't ever eat it, but there has to be balance.
Yes.
There has to be balance. I prefer now eating healthy, believe it or not. When I get soul food, it makes me tired. It does. Now I can eat my food, my warrior smoothie every morning. Let me tell you something. That's an automatic, you know, you going to the bathroom because when you put living food in your body, guess what it's going to do? It's going to move. It's going to say, I'm alive. I got to get out. But when you begin to put dead processed food, I'm telling you, it doesn't move.
What a visual.
I'm telling you, dead food is not going to move. And it sits in
So
your colon.
people are sitting thinking that they maybe have a problem with their bowels but it really is what they're ingesting.
What they're ingesting.
It's what you're eating.
Yeah, I'm telling
And you think that this is some generational thing, but it's really you aren't ingesting the food that makes your body work. And getting that out is part of prevention.
Prevention. It's prevention.
Yeah.
I had a friend who told me that, you know, it's just, I've always gone to the bathroom, you know, just every 3 or 4 days. I said, you do know that's not normal. Because what happens, life and society will make you think the things that are normal are now abnormal.
Oh my goodness, you are dropping too many gems. Say that again, because I want to register that. That was so profound. Society will make you think
the things that are normal are abnormal. And the things that are abnormal, like using the bathroom once every 3 or 4 days, they will make you think that it's normal.
And then have something for it that you need to
Exactly.
take, that you need to go buy.
That you need to go buy.
That is what you call the okie doke.
The okie doke, like I told her, I said, do me a favor. I don't want you to eat again until you have a bowel movement. Drink warm water.
Fast.
Drink tea. Drink water. Drink you a smoothie, something liquid until you begin to push some of that out. I said, it's just sitting in the inner. Put living foods in your body.
And move.
And let me tell you, the reason I know is because let me make a smoothie, one of my warrior smoothies,
Yes.
and leave it in the refrigerator for 2 days, it will pop.
It will break the
Glass. It's living. It's
Really?
I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you make it.
Yes, it moves.
And we're going to have that for you. Even
Yes.
if it's not in the living room, we're going to get Geri making her warrior smoothie because I want you all to know this. I want to start making my own. And we're trying to get healthy.
That's
we're trying
right.
to be empowered. We're trying to be not just inspired, but empowered. You know, inspiration, it can fade. When you're empowered, that's what you carry with you and are able to pass down to your children. This
That's
is
right.
so important. And I want you also, like, I'm taking up all the time because there's so much I want to know about your journey. So you did the holistic health alongside the doctor's recommendation, and then at some point you received your notice that you were in remission, and it was done, and then you kept up your holistic health
I did.
consistently.
I did, because what I didn't want, I was
In October,
I was cancer free.
December, I lost my dad.
Dad to massive heart attack.
Sorry.
6 months after I was cancer free, I lost my mom to lung cancer. I was traumatized. My mom was the love of my life. So
Because God, I felt like God
had healed me, and I just, I was believing Him to heal her.
her. And when it didn't happen, it
Kind of set me back a little bit.
that's so real.
Yeah.
That's so real. That's so real.
Because she didn't really get a chance to see me thrive. And she was one of my biggest cheerleaders, so she didn't really get a chance to see me thrive, from beating cancer. So it's my mission.
If I can prevent people from from getting cancer, because even though I beat it, you don't have to get it.
Right.
I am a believer.
Believer that you do not have to, you don't have to.
Just like they're telling you,
About the statistics, when
you are living,
and doing the things that you should be,
that fear is going to begin to diminish. Because you're like, no.
no, I'm doing.
Yet another word. Well, no, because I said on on my newsletter, I do a letter from me. And in the letter, I spoke honestly about that I get so much pain from this month because it's like what you said with your mother, like, why did my mother? I mean, she was just the greatest lady. She was the love of my life. We did everything. She ate healthy. She worked out. She was the lady that was, in her 50s and 60s walking and working. We did everything. How her? Why her? How? And it makes me on this month want to shut down. Some days I even go into a thing of, I don't even want to know. Like, I don't want to know. I get that some days where I'm just like, every time these mammograms, and then, my breasts are dense, so I'm the person that's always, we got to come back and test again. And I'm like, do you know how much courage it took me to come in here?
Can you just get it all the first time?
Can you just do? And then it's like, we're going to need to come back again. We're going to review again. And then it's all that thing. And so I hate to start the process. And I literally, as empowered as I am, I will sit up and go, I don't even feel like going. I don't feel like going through this process again. I don't want to know. I'll do that. And then I have to get that out of me. And I have to think about, like, what would your mother want you to do? She would want you to go. She would want you to check on yourself. She would want you to do this. But to your point, when you spoke about the fear, when you know you're doing what you should be doing, that lessens that anxiety. And I think you really spoke something into me there, because I think there are things in my life that I know that I could be doing that I'm not. The self-care that I talked about on my road to 50, that I'm very bad. I can take care of everybody else just real fine, real good. I got it. Me, I'm last on the list. I get to me last. And I think I know that about myself. Even my son, he'll be like, Mommy, do you eat, why do you eat these nuts all day? You don't eat any food. And he knows, because I'll live off of a trail mix all day, because I'm going and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going. And I'll say, I'm going to get there. I'm going to sit down and eat something healthy at some point. I'm going to get there.
Wow.
And even he notices it. And I'm like, Lauren, you got to get this together, because he's taking cues. You can tell him all you want to. He's really learning from watching you. And so, speaking of that, we share a very important person. She's more important to you, but has become to be like a quasi-daughter mentee, Brooke. Pearson is one of our Ween Academy graduates and also an incredible aspiring entertainment mogul and actress, but she's your daughter.
Yes.
And you are modeling some incredible habits for her. And, I could go on for days, but I want to stop and pause for a second. I want to put Brooke in my seat because I do think it's important as women that we empower the next generation, and you being able to speak to your daughter the things that I believe maybe you wish someone was able to tell you. Like when I think about my mother's diagnosis and when that happened in 2000 and the advancements that have been made since then, I always say, wow, she didn't know all this that I knew. Speaking to your point about the holistic thing, I remember going to appointments with her and her being told the same thing of like, well, first let's just get through the chemo and all this. Yeah, the holistic stuff is good. They'll give you the information, but no one is encouraging you. No, it's like an elective.
That's right.
It's like if you feel like going over there, you can, but you don't have to. And I wish that it was required. Yeah. I wish that those other things were, because I think, you always have in your mind go, maybe that could have changed something. That's a natural thing. So as we think about empowering the next generation, I want to bring Brooke into her mom's living room. And I would love to have this empowered mother speak to her daughter about the things that she wished she knew, and also the things she wants her daughter to know about what it means to be empowered about this disease. So we'll be right back.
Hi guys, my name is Brooke and we are in my mom's living room. So, as Lauren said, I want you to just tell me something that you wish someone maybe told you and how to carry on living this life of surviving.
So I think the one thing that I wish someone had told me, and it's one of my mottos now: sugar is not your friend. I say that because I used to be addicted to sugar. I did. I used to be addicted to sugar. When I went through my divorce, sugar was my coping mechanism. I used to love chocolate Haagen-Dazs ice cream. When I couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, I would, this is gonna be kind of gross, but I would eat icing out of a can. So I tell people, you don't think at that particular time when you're eating the junk food, when you're eating the processed food, when you're getting that drink from Starbucks every morning, that it's really doing any damage. So you may not see that damage for 2 months, 2 years, or in my case, 20. Sugar is really not your friend. Not only does it feed the cancer cells, but it causes all other diseases. So I say to you, as I say often, sugar is not your friend. Doing my research, one of the things that I found out was cancer cannot survive in a body that's alkaline-based. So I adopted a diet where I limited my carbs. I still eat carbs, but it's mainly complex carbs, sweet potatoes. I love quinoa. So quinoa is my substitute. I used to love fried rice. So quinoa is my substitute for that. I love veggies. I love just about every type of vegetable. So much that for my breakfast, it'll be like jerk, veggies, or a piece of fish. What I do is I limit my carb intake. I'm constantly eating so that I won't crave sugar.
So for people like my age that don't necessarily cook every day or go grocery shopping and have like a full stock fridge, what are some quick healthy ways to eat that don't include sugar? Because it's easier for me to like go to McDonald's or Burger King or Chipotle and grab food. What are some quick healthy ways that we can incorporate an alkaline based diet that eliminates sugar, processed food, and the things that go into your body?
So my advice is, you're never too busy to take care of your body. While I know that you won't always cook, on Sundays, you at least can bake some fish, bake some chicken, make a salad, do some broccoli, put it in glass containers so that at least 3 or 4 times a week you are eating healthy. The ramen noodles, it's quick, but baby, that is going to have a long-term effect on your body. So even as a young person, even as a millennial that's on the go, you've got to take care of your body.
So I saw you doing all of these things with the scrubs, and I heard all of the testimonials and the stories about it. And of course I did not believe you, but I also was just like, okay, cool. But then you gave one to Kiera, a scrub, and prayed over it, and she used it in the shower, and she called me, and she said, Brooke, I really have to tell you something. She said that she was praying over the scrubs like you instructed her to do, and when she was in the shower, she was scrubbing her body from the crown of her head, like you said, to the soles of her feet. And in prayer and in meditation, she started to feel like weights and chains dropping off of her body. So I just want to know a little bit more about these natural healing holistic scrubs that you pray over and make for people and specify if a person is anxious or if they're depressed or if they have trouble having bowel movements and things like that, and then just your overall prayer of God healing you in this one thing, and you take that anointing and kind of bless it and you're spreading it across the world. Tell me more about the business.
So as I mentioned, when I was diagnosed, when I kind of sort of got kind of a release when I felt like God said it was an assignment. And during that time, I really didn't know what that meant. But out of this journey, amazing journey, has come so many amazing testimonies, amazing products. One of the products is the detox scrub. It's an organic detox scrub. And the scrub is amazing because it allows you to release toxins from your body. As young women, as old women, as women that are so powerful, we hold on to so much. We carry so much. We take care of everybody else. We take care of the kids. We take care of baby brother. We take care of husband. We take care of boyfriend. We take care of everybody but ourselves. My detox scrubs, I customized them. What they did for me, it allowed me to connect with me. It allowed me to make me realize that I was holding on to unforgiveness, bitterness, 20 years. And like I tell people, who knows the root of, the cancer? What I do know is I was stressed, I was angry, I was bitter. It allowed me to connect with me, to make me realize you're toxic. You're holding on to negative thoughts. And that stress is causing dis-ease in your body. What the scrub does, it allows you to connect with you. It allows you to realize that we're all toxic. If you're over the age of 3 months, you're toxic because you're holding on to something. You're either working on a job you don't like, you're unhappily married, you are holding on from toxic relationships, and you need to release it. It allows you to release pain, bitterness, and embrace you and become whole. So I customize them. If you look at your ankles and your ankles are fat, you are full of inflammation. If your gut is, if you're just holding on, the toxins lie here. Your lymph nodes. If you feel your arm and you've got lumps, you're toxic. And the scrubs allow you to release and connect with yourself and ultimately become whole.
Well, Mother, thank you for surviving. I love you so much. I'm so happy that you're here. And you are the sole reason of me knowing that God is real, that prayer is real, and I'm so happy to do life with you. You mean the world to me, so thank you for surviving. And our favorite song was I Shall Live and Not Die.
That's right.
You're in that time, and so your story shall live and not die. You will live and not die, and I'm so happy that everybody can learn from you as I do, and I love you, and I thank you. You're all of our survivors.
Thank you. And sugar is not your friend.
Sugar is not your friend. Okay.
Hey everybody, I hope you were as empowered and blessed by this episode of The Living Room as I was. My heart is full. I am ready to indulge in some of Geri's incredible healthy recipes. So we're going to head out of the living room and head to the kitchen, which is another one of my favorite rooms. So until next time, live your limitless life, get your mammogram, take care of yourself, walk in faith, and remember, there is nothing you can't do with God on your side. I'll see you soon.